a tripod on the bottom anymore. And so like in any market, any industry, timing is everything. And that was a blessing that did really well.
Okay, welcome to Fruiting Body Podcast with your host, Brendan. And today we have an absolute legend of a guest. It is Riley Bennett, the digital nomad on the island of Phuket. Today we're going to be talking about Riley, of why he escaped the rat race, how he got to being a digital nomad without being an English teacher. So it's primarily, this podcast will be focused for anyone that's looking to understand a little bit about Amazon FBA, getting into freelance, but let's follow the trend is your friend. Remote closing. This is a brand new industry. I'm sure it's been around for a while, but it's really exploding now. So all you English teachers out there that are sick and tired of babysitting, listen to this podcast. It's going to hit home.
Babysitting. Yep. I like that. Yeah. If you're teaching English, I mean, some people do it, just the virtual way, but man, I met so many English teachers, and shout out Colton right now. I'm helping him basically transition from being a remote English teacher, teaching Chinese kids, on these little apps for whatever, $20 an hour or whatever, to basically having a remote sales position for a company in the US or in Canada who need sales staff, and more companies are allowing their sales staff to be remote. So it's just more and more friends are making way more money than they were teaching English online. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I was watching one of your recent YouTube videos today, and it kind of broke down the actual economics of what you could make. And just as a simple, let's say, beginner closer on remote closing, you can be making like $3,000 a month, which is pretty much pushing 100,000 baht. Meanwhile, a lot of people teaching English online, like maybe they're making 2,000 baht a day, so it's less than half of that. Now, before we jump into what is remote closing, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and leave some comments. Let us know what you think. Let's start at the beginning. Who is Riley Bennett? Where are you from? What's your story?
Yeah, America. Went to college, corporate job, and long story short, came to a digital marketing conference in Chiang Mai, Thailand, a year after graduating, and realizing I don't want to be working for a pharmaceutical company, in a lab, being a slave, making pharmaceuticals, biochemistry major. And, a shout out to Nomad Summit and Johnny FD on YouTube, found his YouTube channel, and came to the Nomad Summit 2014. It's all about digital marketing, drop shipping, e-commerce, Amazon FBA, affiliate. And so, boom, found out about Amazon FBA, started doing that. The rest is history. Been based out here ever since, so almost 8 years now.
Was your first step into Thailand? So you're in the U.S. at this point. You've come to Chiang Mai. Did you go back home, or what did you get into first?
First thing was Amazon FBA. Actually, first it was high-ticket drop shipping. For about 6 months, started back home, and then they actually had a conference. It was the Dropship Lifestyle Conference for the course that me and my best friend Parker got, and it happened to be in Thailand. And we had been in Thailand the year before because Parker did a semester abroad in Thailand, and I came out to visit him with Danny, who actually lives out here now. And so it was Parker's semester abroad in college that allowed us to discover Thailand. And then we went back home, and he was like, dude, 2 months was like way too short, that 2-month program. I was like, dude, 2 weeks was just a tease. First time really outside of America. And he's like, do you want to look into work abroad program for a year? I was like, fuck yeah. And so we started looking on YouTube, working in Thailand, living in Thailand, found Johnny FD's video, sitting in Chiang Mai, doing Shopify, drop shipping. We're like, what the fuck is that? He's like, digital nomad life in Chiang Mai, giving a tour of the co-working space. And we were like, all right, fuck teaching English. Let's do that. And so we signed up for his drop shipping course. He announced a conference in Chiang Mai. It's going down. We're like, oh, heck yeah, let's go to that. We went to that, pivoted into FBA, and yeah, rest is history.
Now, when you were first getting into FBA, were you teaching and selling programs? Did you find a product, you were selling a product?
Oh no, his product. Yeah, we started with a product. There was just like this flip belt, running belt thing. You know, there's private label. You know,
so
stuff.
let's go back to like step one. And usually it's people go down the helium-10 route and, you know, find a product and you do all your. So I'll explain this quick to the viewers. Like, we won't get too granular. There's so much content out there that's, you know, going to be your step-by-step guide, which basically they're like Twitch videos, and you need that. Like, we can't explain that on the podcast. But the first step, you're getting, you know, through Helium-10, you're looking for a product. Can you kind of recall that day of, you know, that initial, I got to find a product. What were those steps? And, you know, recall that memory.
Yeah, so I eventually, because I'm a video person, I eventually made my own private label course. There's a million of them.
Yeah.
But the model is you're basically, so private label, you're taking something that's already being made, you slap your branding on it, and you sell it on Amazon. In the earlier days in Amazon, if you sold kind of any random thing, Amazon has so much traffic, you can get like a little bit of sales and make, you know, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $600 at a time, $1,000 a month. And so there's these online tools where you can kind of scrape the data on Amazon and see how much is selling, see how much competition is, and kind of come up, oh, if I sell this little selfie stick thing or this little spatula, bamboo spatula, then there's lots of traffic. I can put it on Amazon and get some sales. So that's basically the idea.
Now that's got to be pre-2017 and kind of post 2016, 17. You got super competitive.
Yep.
Everyone started to go Amazon FBA.
Yep.
Were you able to be competitive with your first product coming out the door?
Yeah. So as in any business, any industry, you have to have a unique selling position to stay in the market, right?
Yeah.
Every business starts with a good idea. And so if you had a same product, nothing unique about it, it's going to fizzle out. And then nowadays you won't even be able to get traction with it. And so our best products, guess what? They were the most unique. And the first one that really took off was a selfie stick tripod. And it actually came from a personal need because I've always been a video guy. I wanted a selfie stick that could stand up on the table so I could film videos at home. And I was like looking on AliExpress, couldn't find one if you type in selfie stick tripod. I found it on page 50. I found one on page 50 of AliExpress and launched that as the first prototype. So we were one of the first selfie stick tripods on Amazon.com. If you type selfie stick on Amazon.com, now they're all selfie stick tripods. You can't even find a selfie stick without a tripod on the bottom anymore.
Yeah.
And so like in any market, any industry, timing is everything. And so we were one of the first. We came up with like a really heavy duty selfie stick tripod. And that was a blessing. That did really well. And then kind of our next hitter was this right here, sticky wallet, and I just
and he brought you one, Hans. So
yep,
we're gonna be rocking the sticky wallet at Bangtao Muay Thai, and
yeah. So this is stick on phone wallets, and again, timing is everything. It's so but we actually made ours unique. So this is actually the ring version, but not the version I gave you guys. But anyways, I had the idea to put kind of a finger grip elastic strap on it, also put a metal plate on the outside so you could mount it to a magnet in your car. And so as in any business, any industry, you got to come up with a way to make your product service business unique. And so the ones that actually made the money were the ones that I had a good idea for. So
when did you launch that on Amazon?
This is Sticky Wallet's going on like probably 5 years.
5 years now.
Yeah.
And competition, usually the Chinese will enter, and what they try to do is, they make it so they can drive the price down.
Oh yeah.
Are you dealing with that? Are you still comfortable?
Oh, man, we had so many Chinese rip you off, and this will happen to virtually every product. It's not normal if you don't get absolutely copied, including your image, your all of your images, even photos of me on other person's listings.
Yeah.
And they're just Chinese copycats, and they have a whole system like, take this on Amazon and copy this. Okay, I will do.
They're just looking at the data. Like if they find there's a keyword for wallet or whatever the keyword specifically is, they will see the traffic and they're saying that's selling well. Perfect. We can copy it and drive it down.
And so the reason that we are able to we're still like number 3 on Amazon in the adhesive cell phone wallet category, but actually number 1 because the first 2 are not adhesive cell phone wallets. Anyway, it's still a bestseller because strong branding, and it's actually physically unique per the features that I just said, and we were able to get a first mover's advantage. If you can be the first one to hit 1,000 reviews with 4 stars or above, it's a snowball effect upwards. Yeah. And so we were able to get there first.
So what's after that first step? You find the product you want to sell, you make that decision. Step 2, you got to get in touch with the factories. And a lot of people don't realize that actually the people you find on Alibaba are most likely a wholesaler. They are not the factory. What steps could you explain that you would take next on now I know the product I want, but I need to get it from China into Amazon? Without you don't have to get in terms of logistics.
I recommend people hire a sourcing agent for that. And so I wouldn't say I'm the sourcing expert, and I've tried to do it myself and send a million Alibaba messages, and now I just have a sourcing agent, tell them my concept, and they handle that.
Okay, so then they take their margin. It just saves the headache. Margin, yeah. I mean, luckily I speak enough Chinese. I've been down those roads. I know how to deal with those people. I can sniff out who are the wholesalers and who are the factories.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's a nightmare. So you get the product, you get it into Amazon. Now, people do need to understand, and we'll get into the remote closing later and why that's actually more beneficial because there's no overhead. Yeah. But you need to put an investment down because you need to make an initial order. How much was that investment, if you're allowed to disclose? And what were you, was it a big risk? Were you comfortable or you were just ready to go?
So in the Amazon FBA world, like it's a relatively very low investment for a test order, and that's the appealing thing about Amazon compared to like any physical office, physical brick and mortar. Is with Alibaba / AliExpress, you can have an initial test order of 500 units, sometimes 100, 1,000. So that's relatively low money, a few $1,000. It depends what the product cost is. A few thousand, $5,000, $10,000, whatever. That's a fraction compared to most startups. And so that's one of the very appealing things. And then so let's say you do like a $10,000 inventory order or 5,000. If you get traction and you can get up to 100 reviews quick, then you can be profiting 5,000 a month and within 6 months to a year. And in typical investments or physical businesses where you have to build a coffee shop or whatever, like 10xing your money like within a couple years is like crazy. In the cash flow. So it's basically like it's like digital real estate on Amazon. And
if you're holding those positions on the page.
And so so you're talking about specifically the sticky wallet, right? So initial inventory order probably like I don't know, like 5,000 or something. Like
and when they're that like shipping wise, it's not you're not filling a container.
Yeah, and that's what's so nice about this thing. It's so small compared to our big old selfie stick box. Was like
and it's taking up so much space.
Yeah.
Are there any like major tips for new beginners getting in that and I'm assuming you have like you share this information more maybe as a paid course or something along the lines that when people ask like, this is your top 10, I don't want to say, let's just say like top 1 or 2 do's and don'ts and even red flags to kind of watch out for when you're getting into this Amazon FBA.
Yeah. I still get asked a lot about it. And so the key is it starts with a good idea. And so you can't just throw up a same product anymore. As I was saying, you got to differentiate. And this has actually been the cornerstone key message of my FBA course that I launched in 2016. Same thing. You got to have a good idea. You got to differentiate. Put yourself in the shopper's shoes. You type in something like phone wallet. There's friggin' 20, 50 different options. Why is the shopper going to choose you? Start there. All right. If you're the same features and benefits as the other one, most shoppers on Amazon are price shoppers. They're going to be price comparing. And so you got to come up with an idea. Like, sorry guys, this is business. Like companies succeed because of good ideas.
Yeah. And that's kind of rule 101 as well. If you're bringing on investors, the first thing they're going to ask you is what is your USP? And if you don't even know what that means and how to answer that, you've already failed. Yeah. Yeah, so let's moving along. The whole Amazon FBA stuff, people are starting to realize that, yeah, you're going to need to put some investment behind it. And now, you don't want to take those risks. And again, these are just examples of jobs you can do remote and live pretty much anywhere in the world. After you went through the Amazon FBA stint, and you are still doing that, what was next for you?
So the next thing was the agency. So launched my Amazon agency 2018. Just kind of perfect timing. It was kind of the logical next step. Any entrepreneur wants to diversify their income. Another YouTuber agency guy, shout out Matt Laker, invited me on his podcast. He's a big agency guy. He actually also runs an agency mastermind for of agency guys to mastermind and grow. And he's like, dude, you should start an Amazon ads agency. Like, big opportunity there. And I was talking with Parker, our business partner, or my business partner in the FBA thing. And we're like, yeah, we should diversify our income. Like, what happens if something happens to our factory or to Amazon? Of course, you want to diversify your income. Hello, step one of, being rich. And so I went to Matt Laker's agency mastermind, 2-week villa mastermind in Bali. This is 2018. It was so sick, and they even filmed it like a reality TV show, like 2 teams of agency guys who can make more money,
Mr. Beast style.
Yeah, it was sweet, dude. And so that's when I kicked off my agency, and so yeah, that was 3.5 years ago, coming up on 4 years, and yeah, now we're 10 employees, and Amazon marketing agency, and so doing the agency life.
So is it mostly you're providing services, like, people come to you for information? Hey, how do I do the logistics? How do I do 3PL? Anything, like pretty much any question they're going to have opening up an Amazon FBA type of business.
So we're a done-for-you agency. So companies, brands come to us, and we manage their Amazon account, done for you, manage their ads, manage their storefront, create their listings, make them better. And so, yeah.
What category should people avoid? That's just a goddamn nightmare. Other than supplements, because that's definitely up there.
What category? I mean, in general, from an investor standpoint, avoiding things that are seasonal. But the seasonal can hit. Like, in general, there's no one category that's better or worse. At the end of the day, the product being better than the other competitors is what's going to make you the money, not the category.
Yeah, I mean, and for us, it's, I think, one of the thought process that I've gone through. It's also, what is the size and what is the likelihood on returns as well. Yeah. So I have a friend doing color books on Amazon.
Yeah,
but it's like numbers by color. And sometimes the Chinese, the numbers don't match anything and the colors don't match anything. And you'll get complaints in that sense because it's coming from China. They don't know. Mm-hmm. But the packaging is relatively small and you don't really get the returns. Unlike, for example, if you were to sell, I don't know, anything, I would say electronic can be a bit dangerous. On Amazon.
It's typical to recommend those because if with our selfie stick tripod came with a Bluetooth remote, that was the number one source of bad reviews because 1 out of whatever would be broken, but they'll be so pissed they'll leave a negative review.
And most of reviews, if people are going to leave reviews, they're usually going to be negative, probably 9 times out of 10 as well. Yeah. Were you also doing courses on Amazon ad spending and really breaking it down, the fundamentals on how to excel on Amazon through ad spending?
So my agency, I'm actually working with my head of ads. Shout out Ryan. He's in our office in Utah with our team of 4 American guys who head up our ads. We have a PPC Amazon advertising course in the works. But Amazon ads, it's a tool to boost your organic ranking. The big money comes in ranking organically on the top of page 1. Amazon ads is a tool to get you more sales every day. The organic ranking algorithm works on how many sales are you getting every day and what's your conversion rate. So ads is one tool to boost your daily sales and your conversion rate. So success on Amazon, it's not all about ads. It's about organic I'm laughing because this is like, I feel like I'm on a discovery call with a client or like making a video because I say this every day. Anyway, it's all about organic ranking and ads is one tool to help that.
Yeah, we've looked into this quite intensively and kind of discovered as well that the advantage of the tool as well is once you've ranked organically, those guys that are ranking organically are also paying ads to hold that position.
Yeah. You should always keep them on exactly to hold yourself there. That's just the Amazon universe. They're just gonna. Yeah, you just got to keep paying Amazon, basically.
That's the thing. The whole Amazon world is like, it's kind of a fuck you, pay me type of scheme.
Exactly. Yeah. And so love it or hate it, it is what it is.
So I have a friend doing Amazon, but he's doing it's a different type of business model. He has a website. Actually, I'm not going to mention it because I think it's a scam. So I won't mention who he is and the handle, but I'll explain the business model and you can tell me your thoughts.
All right.
So what he does is he finds people to invest about minimum 30 grand US. You give him the 30 grand, right?
Oh, okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then he says, okay, you give me the 30 grand. We're going to find you the products. We're going to manage your store, but we just need that 30 grand to get started.
Yeah.
What I feel he's doing is he's using your 30 grand to buy your own product back, to give you the rankings, to make it look like they're sales. And then eventually, like, you could get hit up by Amazon for, something you've done wrong and your store could get shut down. But basically what he's saying is if anything happens bad to your store and you get shut down, that's it. He could be doing arbitrage as well and going through like Walmart and bringing it to Amazon and selling in that sense. Have you seen these? Are these pyramid scams?
Yeah, Done For You.
Done For You is completely
different. Okay, so Amazon automation.
Amazon automation.
Yes, yeah. I know about these. And so my understanding is it's reselling wholesaler arbitrage. And so they'll create like thousands of listings. And
do you think it's legit?
I mean, every business is legit or else it wouldn't be a business model. But like, I don't know. Every business has success and failures, but it wouldn't be a business model if there wasn't potential to make money.
Yeah, I had a couple calls with them and just something didn't seem right.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. And so, so I recommend, obviously because it's what I do, but private label, create a product that you own, with resale arbitrage. It's just a price raise to the bottom at wholesale. So create a product, create a brand, create an asset that you own. I think many entrepreneurs would agree rather than just like reselling shit.
Okay, so that's pretty much the basics for Amazon we want to chat about. I think we've covered like the fundamental, those major points. Again, if you want to get into the granular, where can people find you for that information?
So I have an Instagram page called FBA Lifestyle. You can look that up, and that's kind of the name of my course, that's not active anymore. That's my old course, but there's still my old page for my course, but there's still a lot of obviously super good information.
And if people want to kind of get into that private label type of business as well.
And
I've had a lot of people on the island ask me, and I kind of always tell them, well, you are going to need money to invest to be able to do that. So you're not doing it.
Or just search Amazon FBA, Riley Bennett on YouTube, and I have tons of free tutorials about product research and all that.
So moving next on, the trend is your friend and into remote closing. I watched some recent videos. You're working with a guy on that. And again, there's a guy I was explaining that works with me, and he's getting into this as well. Remote closing.
Yep.
He told me about it, but actually when I started researching you for this podcast and watching that, it kind of clicked for me. Again, if you're an English teacher, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
You should be doing this. Can you talk, what is remote closing, and just take us through it?
Yeah, so basically you're part of a sales team for a company. Typically, it's an online course, coach, or online school, or it could be a digital marketing agency, or it could be really any company who typically, they have a sales staff, so they're inbound leads, submit the form on their website, interested to learn more, book a call now. They need a sales team to take those calls. And so many companies, coaches, courses will have their sales team be remote. And so you basically apply for a sales job with that company, course, coach, whatever it may be. And you get the job, and you basically sync your calendar to their Calendly.
Yep.
And then you set your times of the day, however many blocks you want open, and all the inbound leads that come through their website or Facebook ad or whatever it may be get distributed amongst their sales team and just pops right into your calendar. So, I got a meeting today at 7 p.m. Okay, I'm going to be there. You take the inbound call with the client or with the interested customer, and if they sign up, then you get a 10% commission normally. And most typically these courses, programs, online schools, whatever, will be $5,000, $10,000. And so for one close, you can get $500. If it's $10K course, whatever, $1K. And so I think the post that you saw was kind of an overview of the interview I did with Marcus, who does this, is kind of explaining it. Like if you take...
Oh, there's about an hour video on YouTube.
Okay.
I watched the full thing, yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so my interview with Marcus, so he was actually a subscriber and came to Chiang Mai and actually took my Amazon FBA course, which is kind of cool, back in 2016. And then he pivoted into closing, started crushing it. And now he's a coach for closers. And he was like, dude, one of your subscribers signed up and like he's like crushing it, doing like $25K a month for like average the past 3 months. And I was like, oh shit. Like, and so that's what excites me is like, I get to help, other guys, other versions of me escape the rat race and figure out this remote work thing to unlock this digital nomad lifestyle, which is the fucking best. This is what it's about. It's about living life on your own schedule and being able to travel. This world is so fucking big and awesome. You need to travel, not just 2 weeks, like as long as you want. And so this remote closing thing is so cool. And I'm meeting more and more guys just like randomly around, like, oh yeah, I'm a remote closer for this company. Oh shit, I'm a remote closer, remote sales for this company. And so yeah, remote sales, guys.
Yeah, and some of the categories, so because people are probably going to ask, like, well, what do you mean by remote closing? So we're talking software, health, nutrition, wellness websites. Yeah. People, again, maybe selling FBA packages. Typically, what do you see in the remote sales world? SEO, marketing, website building, whatever.
Yeah, so Marcus says health, wealth, and relationships are like, people will always pay big money for those. And so Marcus says he works with some big names. And so maybe it's like a Tony Robbins type person. It could be a relationship course, how to get more dates. It could be a fitness course, how to get shredded. It could be a make money online course, an FBA, how to build your own Amazon business. And it could be like a 5K course, 10K course. It could be, $3,000 a month, for 6 months, whatever it may be. So those are the kind of the big categories, health and fitness, relationships, and wealth.
I'm going to look at this from like the business perspective and just try to understand how do I scale that so I don't need to be the individual. And correct me if I'm wrong and feel free to interrupt along the way. I would assume that I need to get started as a remote closer. Well, where do I start? I probably need to build an Upwork profile as a freelancer, as a remote closer. Get a couple reviews. We can do that through friends, so we're not going to explain that. You'll figure it out. Yep. Get rolling. Now you got maybe 10 clients going, and you begin to outsource your own remote work to other people that are remote closers. And you can, I was discussing with Hans, it's not a pyramid scheme. It might look like that, but it's not.
It's a company. Yeah.
It's a company. It's a team. So what you're doing essentially at the end of the day is you're closing the deals to be the remote closer with the companies, but you can re-outsource that to someone within your team.
No. Okay. So you don't start an agency. You don't start a closing agency. But what you do to start closing is, you should do an Upwork profile. You can get remote closing gigs through Upwork. You can also get them through Facebook groups. Just search remote closing jobs, remote sales jobs on gazillion job boards these days, LinkedIn. And so I tell guys who reach out to me, so start doing this remote closing. You're going to get these chunks of cash coming in. If you take 4 calls a day, which is nothing compared to any corporate sales job, they're doing like 50 calls a day, and that's cold calling, which sucks. It's the worst fucking thing ever. there's no cold calling going in here. It's just inbound leads that sign up through their inquire via
They're
their
coming
website.
to you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like they're already interested in signing up, and so it's the easiest thing. You're just asking them like the team of the course gives you a list of these obvious questions, and then you're just asking them easy questions. Would you like to pay via credit card or PayPal?
Yeah.
It's like they sign up. And so if you close 25%, which is typical, and a lot of guys do 40%, 4 calls a day. Let's say it's a 5K course, which is very typical. You're making $500 a day, 5 days a week. And so that's like $2,000 a week. And so, yeah, not bad at all, right? To live in Chiang Mai and, get your little motorbike, scoot around Bali or whatever. Yeah. And so, what were we talking about? So yes, so that's closing. That's by yourself. Don't start a team around closing. What you'll do is, because you're alluding to
scaling.
Scaling,
because
yes.
your time's limited at the end of the day.
So do your sales job on the side of that, or when you're ready, start your digital marketing agency. And so start your Upwork profile around that. It's going to be offering some digital service, consulting, SEO. And I just did a podcast on my channel about with Matt Laker, who helped me start my agency, about how to choose your service. I actually just did an Instagram post just today, 5 hottest agency niches. They all have to do with TikTok, video editing, social media management.
Saw one, NFTs, crypto.
NFTs, crypto for sure. So offering digital services to companies. Start with your Upwork profile. I just did a whole video about how to start with Upwork. I'm actually launching an Upwork mini course because I've been crushing it on Upwork the past 3 years. It's been our main source of leads for companies hiring us as an Amazon agency. And I just love teaching. As you know, I'm a course video type of guy, teacher type of guy. So I have a whole Upwork mini course. Get your initial source of leads, and then when you're ready, after you kind of complete the first jobs yourself, you're really confident about the service, then hire other freelancers on Upwork to handle the job. You basically pay them half of the amount, and then start testing different freelancers, and the ones you work well with, the ones that are awesome, basically bring them on full time to handle the work. Now you're the CEO, you're getting all the leads, talking to the clients. Okay, you're giving it, maybe it's Philippines or Indian VA or whatever, doing the easy stuff. Find other versions of yourself, so other Western guys, American guys, whatever, to try to duplicate yourself, but obviously they're maybe at a little bit lower rate, so you can still charge the client your higher rate. Outsource it to this other guy. Example, like I have Ryan, Brett, Jake, and Josh on my team in our small office in Utah. Outsource it to them at a lower rate. Boom, now it's a company, it's a digital marketing agency. Keep testing different people and keep who you work with. And so it's been 3, almost 4 years now. And so now we're 5 American guys and then 5 Amazon experts in Philippines. So yeah,
it's not overly complicated when you explain it like that, and I think anyone listening is like, okay, that clicks, that makes sense, and watch it back in slow motion if you want.
Let me explain how this works to you. I'm not on mushrooms, but I was maybe yesterday.
So you're still coming down now. You're all good. How do you work internally within your team? Are you having Monday meetings, sales meetings, marketing meetings? Talk a little bit about like the internal structure.
Yes, sir. So team hangout Tuesdays, that was last night. And so that's 9 a.m. Utah time every Tuesday. And so
it's about midnight here almost, no?
Yeah, it's about like 11 o'clock, but here. And so weekly team meeting. And then those American guys handle basically a weekly call with every client in the client's first 2 months, and then it's in every other call. And then after like long-term clients, then sometimes they just no calls. It's like things are just set, or they meet once a quarter.
Here, just turn the mic in a little bit.
Oh shit.
There you go.
And then in terms of closing, inbound closers, I do that for my own company. How about that? And so leads come in through Upwork and also through our website. because they found us on Google because we're actually ranking now for Amazon Marketing Agency, which has been great. They inquire via the form, book a call, strategy call, discovery call, whatever you want to call it. And so now it's me and Ryan doing that. And so most of the time it'll actually be both of us on those calls. Sometimes it's just him, sometimes just me. And so when they sign up, I own the company.
So at the end of the day, is it a collective people like making a final decision, or do you feel like you still need to steer the ship?
Of the whole company. And so me and Parker were the co-founders. And so, I'm the CEO. I'm the captain of the ship. So yeah.
Interesting. Well, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Someone's got to make those executive decisions as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, good. Parker is basically, the CFO, handles the, accounting and finances and all that. Ryan is, CMO. He's head of Amazon advertising. He's our head Amazon ads nerd. He's the nerdiest nerd at Amazon ads you've ever freaking met. And then me, I run the YouTube channel, the website. So CEO, outward facing.
What are some of the cons now working remotely? Because, we kind of came from that same time where we were working in offices. You're doing the 9 to 5. There are some things you're going to miss between that work relationship interaction. Do you feel you're missing anything there that you need to, and how could you fix that?
I feel like I'm missing
anything. Okay, so I'll elaborate on that.
Okay.
For me personally, the one thing that you cannot get from remote working is in the day-to-day work is, let's say we're working on a project. We could be working on a tender. And that tender we need to submit to a client, and that's due at 5 p.m. And all of a sudden, the client told us 2 days ago. So we got 48 hours in the office. If we're not all in that office, I find by being all in the office together on those specific times, we get it done twice as fast compared to being separated.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Do you face any of those and you're like, fuck, I kind of wish I was in the office with these guys today?
Fuck no. And so here's the thing. In life, sometimes you got to choose, would you rather? Would you rather be in a city, let's say you only need to go to the office once a day, but you still got to live in your city, most of the year, whatever. Can't really be in Thailand. Or would you rather be able to live anywhere you want, anytime, stay in Thailand as long as you want, and maybe you don't get that personal office interaction. Maybe your project doesn't get as done as efficiently or as quickly. You can still just do it on Zoom. Sometimes you just got to choose, which would you rather have? I'd actually rather have second, chill in Thailand, chill in Bali, and get some sun.
Yeah, you got to take the sacrifices, I guess. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as they say.
Yeah.
What's your daily routine? So digital nomads that are going to leave the 9 to 5, they might get out there. Now, obviously with we'll call it the C word, the current situation, so YouTube doesn't flag us. When you're working remotely at home, most people, they aren't used to that. Now, I'm lucky that I've actually been working from home since 2012. Mm-hmm. What is your daily routine? How do you not only stay consistent and structured, but how do you stay disciplined?
Good question. So daily routine, I get up and do like some yoga, stretching. I gotta get back into more of a quick meditation. I've done that in the past. I want to start doing more of it. And then in the morning, I gotta do like a morning workout, a morning sweat, just to wake up. Similar to coffee, like I don't feel fully awake unless I get like a morning quick workout. So it might be a quick run or just quick workout, whatever. Then jump into coffee work. During the daytime, get some sun during the day. Often I will work at a coffee shop if I'm in Bangkok or Bali. Here it's more of a villa setup because we have the most epic villa ever here. Work during the day. And the thing about being in Asia or this part of the world, running an agency, is your day is all free. And then so my scheduled calls start from like 9 p.m. to like midnight. So my day is like pretty free, but basically morning workout, sun, coffee work, cafe, and, come to a podcast, whatever, get some food. And then in the afternoon, I will typically do like a main workout. So traditionally, I'm a CrossFit guy. So if I'm in Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Bali, like love the CrossFit. I also sprinkle in Muay Thai. So I've been doing Muay Thai recently, in the afternoon. Main workout, back, get some food, chill, do whatever you want to do, take a break, and then kind of my evening work sesh starts around 8, 9 when people in America start coming online. And then I will be on my laptop again in the evening till 1, 2. Sometimes I'll close my laptop at 3, 4. Depends what's going on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like work when you're working for yourself, when you're building something that you own, that you're excited about. And so, yeah.
Did you ever worry working those work hours that you aren't, let's say, maximizing your sleep efficiently in terms of staying into that circadian rhythm?
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to get to, bed at 9 o'clock, get up at 5 naturally.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's like I get my 8 hours. I often get 9. The beauty and the whole point of all this is be on your own schedule and, have freedom, schedule flexibility. And so if I roll over in the morning and I'm not rested, boom, I go right back. I don't have a job to go to in the morning. And so that is worth $1 million. That's invaluable. And so I get plenty of sleep. And the other thing is I've actually been a night owl my whole life. Ever since a kid in college, I would get all my shit done in the library until 2, 3 a.m. So I'm a natural night owl. And, if some people just are. I'm not a morning person. And so it happens to work out. And so I was going to mention this. It's a factor. If you're going to get into the agency world, into the client-facing world, whether it's remote closing or whether it's agency services, it's a decision to think about whether you want to be based in Asia or in the West, in the Americas, or in Europe, because if your company that you're working for is, let's say in America and you're in Asia, you're going to have to be working, online at those late hours. If that's fine with you, someone like me, even when I was not doing client-facing stuff, I was just hustling late night. I'm a late night hustler. It's fine with me, but people such as Marcus, he spends most of his time in Mexico and Europe because that's where his clients are, and he prefers to take his calls in the morning. And so it's definitely a decision that's
are most of your client calls, you were saying they are at night?
Yeah.
Is that possibly, is that a reason why then you'd be in Thailand? Because actually those night calls align to your lifestyle.
Yeah. And so for me, if the agency thing fits perfect.
So it doesn't make sense for you to be even in, let's say, Mexico, because now your calls aren't.
I would much prefer my calls to be at 10 at night than 10 in the morning, because that's just who I am. I'm a late night hustler. I'm not a morning person. And so, yeah.
Speaking on the hustle side and the aggressive income versus passive income, eventually, Father Time's going to catch up. Do you have a roadmap or a long-term plan, or are you just going to hustle till the death knocks on your door?
Oh, aggressive income. I like that word. Oh no, heck yeah. So any entrepreneur, it's all about passive income, right? It's all about owning different streams of income. And for sure the passive income is a goal. And so, yeah, for sure. Kind of 5-year plan or whatever is, agency. You want to, delegate more and more and more, of course, and eventually make your way back as kind of just like an advisor where maybe you're only on 1 call a week. And so the next big thing for me to delegate is the sales. So I'm not taking sales calls, and eventually, free up my night times too. And so I'm just a completely free bird to, go out and, do DJ sets any night of the week, not worry about, oh shit, I got to get back. I got calls or whatever. And so that's kind of the next big step. And then as any entrepreneur wants to do, you take your money and you invest it in other things, whether that's like, crypto, stock type of stuff. But, for us entrepreneurs, it's other companies. All right, what else? What's your next thing? Us like, entrepreneurs, we're like, for you, this is like, this is like your passion business. This is like what you wanted to do. Boom, podcast. And so for me, like I love podcasting too. I have my own podcast, I have my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep doing that. Like my dream job is to make full-time money from my YouTube channel / podcast, which is not even a job. It's just what I naturally do. It's the same with you. Like I just love talking, like make $1 million a year just talking to people. Like Joe Rogan's got dream job. He just talks to people, has the most interesting conversations, and makes millions. Like that's a freaking dream job. Music is also my passion, so I just started like doing DJing recently. So if I can make money through like just enjoying music and playing music that I like wow, that's awesome. So yeah, it's always what's the next opportunity? Let's say there's this. Okay, as Tim Ferriss says in 4-Hour Workweek, chase what excites you. So kind of the roadmap is, figure out what's going to make you, money, take care of yourself, and then start passion businesses that, don't feel like work, but that's the ideal situations where you can make money, around something that you love doing. So that's the dream, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and even on my side, it's set up these different businesses, but I mean, you have to have some passion behind them. Otherwise, what are you chasing? Yeah. You don't want it to feel work. But I also don't believe in that statement. Like work shouldn't feel like work. It should be. Yeah, you got to fucking work.
Not at first.
You got shit to get done. Yeah. Right? I mean, even this podcast, it was fun for about 20 episodes, and some weeks I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to film, and it feels like work. And I just, that's the Amazon, or sorry, the YouTube gods got the gun to your head, and they're like, you better put out a video this week.
Yeah. It's not going to be rainbows and, unicorns all the time for sure. Still got to grind.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So now Thailand is like your first major stop as the digital nomad, but you're going back between Thailand and Bali. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you said, how long have you been in Thailand? You said, did you say 6 years?
Well, first came here 2014.
Correct. But like actually living and staying here.
So I don't know. It's been about 8 years based in Southeast Asia, and probably 5 to 6 have been in Thailand.
I don't know. I never came across you. Were you in the south of the island?
So this is actually only about a year now in Phuket. Okay. I've been basically like 4 years in Bangkok, and before that 1 year in Chiang Mai.
Okay, and where would you recommend people kind of set up?
Chiang Mai is the simplest. Chiang Mai is so sweet. It's just so simple and very tight-knit, remote working professional community, meetups all the time. And so, there's that. Bali is very similar. Phuket now is awesome. Up here in Bang Tao or down there in Rawai. I did a whole video about Rawai. You can check it out, guys. But Chiang Mai, Phuket, Bali, I think are great for beginners in terms of Southeast Asia. And then Mexico is another big hot spot.
Yeah, a lot of people have gone to Tulum.
Tulum / Playa del Carmen. And then also Medellin, Colombia is another popular one.
Yeah, because I saw the price to live in Colombia is way cheaper than here. Some people, I was looking at Costa Rica, but it's a bit too sleepy for me. I looked at Tamarindo and really looked into it, and it's like you kind of have we have the main road here that connects between Sur and Patong, Kamala. But I looked all their side roads here, they're just dirt roads. You need like a 4-wheel drive truck, you need like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
It's really nice here in Phuket. The roads are so nice. It's even in Bali, there's some really bumpy, falling apart roads.
Bali's for me personally, it's too hectic. When you're in Canggu and you want to get to Seminyak and you're going across farm fields on one-way lanes and people are passing, it's like, fuck this. For sure. It's too much. You kind of you get stuck in your bubbles there, I guess.
Yeah. Canggu is Bali is fucking paradise. But the roads here are so nice. That's a big perk here. It's really easy to get around.
Now, you moved just to Kamala not long ago?
Yeah.
And why did you choose Kamala, not Surin or, other parts of the island?
Yeah, we were going to do, so we did Rawai, and we did a 6-month lease villa there. And they were like, all right, let's move to Bang Tao and check that out. And then, so even went up to Bang Tao, toured some villas, and the best villa deal that we found that was available happened to be in Kamala. So all right, let's do it.
Yeah, Kamala is a bit cheaper. and easier to access. Some of these mountains up here at Surin, it's too crazy to go up and down them, especially if you're on a motorbike. They're a bit gnarly. Yeah, so we're over at Bang Tao. You should come check out Bang Tao Muay Thai.
Dude, I know. I got some friends, and I'm always like, I'll see you there sometime. But yeah,
well, they do over there. They do the HIIT classes in the morning. They're pretty decent, especially on a lot of the UFC's fighters. They're in the class as well. So like, you kind of try to, I don't know if they're doing like a 5-round type of thing. You can last with them for about a round.
They don't do the HIIT in the afternoon because you won't catch me in the morning.
So they do a 9 a.m. HIIT, and then they do a 5 p.m. strength and conditioning. But the strength and conditioning is more like, it's good. I'll go tonight. It's pretty decent.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Dope. I didn't know that.
Tonight's they're doing power, so it's fun. So like we're taking medicine balls and whacking them into a wall.
CrossFit shit. That's my jam.
Yeah. It's not like super high intense. They're really trying to focus on form and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, it's decent down as well.
Cool. I got to.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying, not today. I would think about it today, but I got to prepare my a DJ set today. But
okay,
100%. I'll see you there sometime soon.
Oh, okay.
But I got all the time.
Oh, okay. I thought you had to run. Okay. But usually we wrap it up because we've hit an hour, so we'll kind of go another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, the wrap up always takes 20 minutes. So you're talking. Let's talk a little bit about medicinal mushrooms. You said you did a microdose last night, and was it the first time, or what is your?
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming from Seattle, so you got to have some sort of relationship with medicinal mushrooms.
Mushrooms are the best, as you know. We happen to have like a couple mushroom supplement clients. Medicinal psychedelic mushrooms, love them. And so I've always been curious about microdosing. And so yesterday a friend was over who knows about it and is like, "Want to try it?" Yeah, sure. And so I've always heard about entrepreneurs, Silicon Valley, folks, super rich people, microdosing either LSD or mushrooms in the when they're doing their creative work. So I've always wanted to try it, and so it happened to be yesterday, which happened to be my birthday, and also the day before I came on a Mushroom Guys podcast. Yeah,
perfect timing. Yeah, it's some people like the real microdose. Let's call it the dosage or the protocol would be like you take 125 milligrams, 1 day on, 2 days off for 90 days, because they say 90 days on, 90 days off. They just don't know the long-term side effects, which probably are nothing. But also when you get into anything like natural, especially like mushrooms, or it could be moringa or whatever, you should always cycle 90 on, 90 off, because eventually your body just like accepts it and the potency's gone.
Yeah.
I guess that's similar to people that are, addicted to smoking weed. If you smoke weed every day your whole life, I mean, for me, I hit it once, I'm fucking high as shit all night.
Yeah.
So I can't really smoke weed.
Similar to any chemical function.
Yeah, medicinal mushrooms like psychedelic, psilocybin, the golden teacher, this stuff, we're not going to be selling that. But that stuff specifically, what it does on the creative side, it just increases the neuroactivity within the brain. And essentially what it's doing is we have these neural pathways, and it's carving these neural pathways. And the best analogy to understand is that sometimes in life we go through, and this isn't going to get hippie, that's not the style on this podcast, but it's basically like we go through like negative blocks or just cycles, and we got to break through. It could be something so simple. Get up at tomorrow I want to get up at 9. For me, okay, tomorrow I want to get up at 5:30. I want to meditate. Then I'm going to read a book. Then I'm going to have a coffee. Then I'm going to go to class. Then I'm going to do this, and this for the rest of the day. And a lot of the times that's like what you want to do, but you won't do it. For some reason, if you start to microdose, and for me, actually, I prefer macro doses, where it's just one shot. I'll do it once a year, and it just opens up the brain. For some reason, when you are microdosing, those neural pathways, they become carved, and you break through that shit of like, okay, I should have done that, but I didn't. And then the analogy is, it's like those paths exist, like if you went mountain biking on a dirt bike on a mountain trail, they already exist. And if you've heard this before, it's the problem is we just haven't gone down those trails in a while, and mushrooms open that up where it makes it, you don't have that fear of resistance, like this book called The War of Art. I forget the
Art of War.
Not by Sun Tzu. It's a different book. It's called The War of Art, Reverse.
Okay, interesting.
And it really pushes how humans, we resist change. Mm-hmm. That's what it's purely about. Because change involves, it's not comfortable. I mean, change your diet from this to that, reduce your calories. It fucking sucks.
Yep.
Go train every day. You think I want to get up in the morning and do HIIT at 9 a.m.? Absolutely not, but you do it. Yeah. And mushrooms can kind of carve that pathway to push you to do that shit. Now the issue is they're just not legalized. I still don't know how that's going to work. I understand you can legalize marijuana because it's not as psychoactive, but with magic mushrooms into the wrong hands, on doses, and if people are prone to, let's say, schizophrenia, it could actually cause severe issues.
Yeah. And so it's basically becoming slowly legalized in the U.S., Washington, Oregon, Vancouver, Canada. There's now, it's basically the law
Oakland,
turning a blind eye to it. Okay, it's a plant. And so, yeah, with any substance, there's going to be some, mishaps sometimes. Look at alcohol. Alcohol is the most, commonly consumed substance. People die on alcohol every day. Alcohol is the worst. And so, yeah, if you take too much of something, you're going to get fucked up. All right. And so, yeah, so I think it's a psychedelic / spiritual revolution. It's going in the right direction in terms of weed is now legalized in Thailand. Freaking awesome. And weed is a psychedelic, like how you were describing with mushrooms, psilocybin opening up the brain. If you take an edible, if you get super high, it's the same thing. I describe it to like my dad, who never does any drugs. Weed, it's like your brain is like a flower. Mushrooms and weed, it opens it up. And I was just actually describing mushrooms to my dad just when I was back home, because we were watching this Netflix documentary about it. What's it called? How to Change Your Mind, talking about these psychedelics.
By Michael Pollan.
Yeah, Michael Pollan talking about the LSD guy.
Yeah, Albert Hoffman.
Yeah,
on the wall.
Great documentary, guys. Check it out. How to Change Your Mind. And literally changed my dad's mind about LSD. He was like, well, there's something to it. And he's like, you know what? Now I'm down to try mushrooms. Like pretty much everyone in my family's tried except my dad. And it's like, you know how they say how you only use half your brain? That's basically what's going on with mushrooms. I describe it as it lights up your whole brain. And so that brain is consciousness, right? And so it lights up your whole brain. And so you're at a higher level of consciousness / awareness, where you're if you look at my favorite thing to describe about mushrooms, you look at a plant when you're high on mushrooms, and it's like you see it for the first time and you realize, oh my God, oh, it's so complicated and beautiful. Whoa, because normal life, these same pathways, our brain, it's when we see a tree, it's okay, that's a tree. We've already scanned that. It's no threat. But with mushrooms, it's completely new consciousness. You're a baby. You're whoa, oh my God, that's crazy. You look at the moon, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. There's a planet up there. It's and so I love mushrooms for just experiencing and connecting with nature again, and just reminding yourself how beautiful just the everyday plants and animals in nature. And so I always recommend, be responsible, of course, set and setting, do it with friends, who you trust, don't do super high dose with anything your first time. Experience nature, walk on the beach, hiking. And I think everyone 100% should experience it responsibly.
Yeah, it's interesting, the science behind how it works too. I love listening to Terence McKenna lectures. There's only audio. You can find it. The best ones are on SoundCloud by a guy named Laszlo, and it's called The Psychedelic Salon. This guy has thousands of hundreds of Terence McKenna lectures from Berkeley in the 80s. And if you want to just go do a 2-hour walk, throw on one of those, because Terence McKenna is an absolute wordsmith. I don't know. Yeah. Have you ever listened to him before?
Oh, 100%.
My God. Sometimes I have to listen to him walking, stop it and rewind 10 times to be what the fuck did he just say? Yeah. And it blows your mind. And a lot of the times, you're I need to write that down I know I'm not a writer. I'm not creative. I'm analytical. So like when you hear that stuff, I'm astonished by the way he puts that
deep,
together.
and he has been deep.
He literally, when he speaks and he's doing a lecture, that could be a book. Like if you just recorded what he said and wrote it in a book, you don't even need to edit it. You're like, that's good to go. Like that's how eloquent he is.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend anyone go check that out. SoundCloud, Laszlo, Psychedelic Salon. And it's not just Terrence McKenna, it's Alan Watts. There's talks from tons of Ram Dass. So a lot of these lectures. It's interesting. On my side, for the psychedelics on the chemistry side, basically what it's doing, it's a tryptamine that's taking something called psilocybin and replacing that in your receptor. And that receptor that we're usually putting in there is our serotonin. And that's all it is. So that's why things are more sensitive. And the one thing McKenna always said, he said, take enough psilocybin, and you'll be connecting to your air conditioner on another level too.
Everything is one. Everything is, so that's a lot of religions are. That's kind of the
basis,
the motif, the basis of it. Yeah, because it's true, right?
Yeah, he said the most interesting thing that I haven't repeated too much on the podcast, but one of his theories is, and it's not, I'm not going down the stoned ape theory. That's the Rogan thing. Everyone's heard that 50,000 times. But one of his theories is that if aliens existed and they wanted to communicate to us in another dimension or another way, you would have to do it through food. And that would be the easiest way for them to connect to us. And the mushroom is it's the only thing that has that like real psychedelic effect. I mean, LSD is chemically made in a lab, but LSD is near close to psilocybin, the psilocin chemical molecule makeup.
Right. Wasn't he discovered it trying to replicate the mushrooms?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's from. Now, that's why I'm not really an advocate of LSD or in that sense chemicals, because if you take this stuff, and I have, you have a pretty bad hangover the next day. Like, it's a chemical. You're going to feel it. It's synthetic. Mushrooms you can take as long as you get a good night rest sleep. You don't feel anything the next day.
Yeah. Like,
it's completely natural, no different than if you were to smoke weed as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why we're getting into these supplements, but that's going to be later down the road.
Yeah. The alien theory, I've never heard about that, but I think about it all the time, and I happen to be a biochemistry major. Like, how is this like real? And is there a like how and what's the evolutionary benefit of this mushroom having this effect? Like, how can a plant change my consciousness? Like, is it like some divine thing going on, like this alien theory, or like whatever, trying to expand our consciousness? Or is it just like a random biochemical byproduct of the certain molecules, compounds that happen to be in that species of mushrooms? Because there's millions of species, and some of them, give us this. And so I'm like, could it be that just like in random mushrooms, the psilocybin ones, they happen to latch onto the molecules? It's all, lock and key. It's all Lego blocks in there. They happen to lock on to to our neurons to light them up in a fantastic way. That it just happens to affect our brain that way, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's just kind of an effect, and neurochemistry and the brain is fascinating, and it just happens to be a molecule that latches on to the right places in the brain, and it is what it is.
That's the thing. They are theories. They're fun to go down those rabbit holes and speculate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I still always kind of go back to Occam's razor. Probably what is the most obvious answer is most likely the obvious answer. And maybe that's just the one here that fucks with our, the chemistry, it gives us another like perception. It does expand consciousness, but there's other things that do as well, like ayahuasca, DMT.
Yeah.
For example, if there's certain morning glory seeds that you can take and it's psychedelic.
Yeah. There's so many. Yeah. I mean, there's so many effects.
It's not just mushroom. There's many other.
Exactly. There's a million zillion molecules that affect They're called drugs. They make you feel some type of way. And what is feel? Feel is your brain.
Yeah.
And so coffee is right here, is a fucking drug.
Yeah.
And so it gives us a certain feeling. And we don't understand how the brain works. And so we're very early on in understanding consciousness in the brain. And so, yeah, it's endless.
Yeah, it's Tesla had a quote, Nikola Tesla. He said that when we decide to investigate and put our efforts into the research of the consciousness in the brain, we will progress more in humanity in 10 years than we have in our entire existence.
Wow.
And but we are getting there. Like, so actually what's going on at a lot of these like universities like Johns Hopkins, that's where the research is going. It's to mapping the brain. And that's what Elon Musk is attempting to do as well. The reality is we have trillions of neurons, and they've done the math. To map the brain could take they said something like 500 years. You can't do that overnight. My hope, this is my conspiracy, is the combination of quantum computing and AI maps the brain overnight.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then we hit singularity, and then there's no.
and then it's gone. And then it's over.
From there, yeah.
That's the actual hadron collider. We hack into the quantum computing AI. We map the brain, and just all of a sudden we just turn to light. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And we evaporate.
The super brain wakes up, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna turn everything into energy now. Yeah. And then now I'm just the whole universe turns into a consciousness.
Yeah. All right. On that note, and we didn't take any drugs, just for the record here.
Dude, high on life, bro. Yeah. Come on.
We're gonna end this podcast because we're probably at an hour and a half. The final thing, I'm gonna shoot that. This is like, what is it? Hot ones? Not this camera, that camera. This is your camera.
Tell these folks what you got going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's your camera. Let them know where they can find you. And that one right there.
Boom. All right, my new movie. I'm coming out. YouTube channel. Living That Life is my travel vlog, and Instagram Living That Life of Riley, and digital nomad lifestyle, Thailand. Dude, that was awesome.
What links in the description? What do we want to lead? What can they find?
You know where the link is, man.
So just start on Instagram, find them on YouTube, follow, like, subscribe, but first do it to us. Don't do it before him.
Yeah.
And
if you watch this far, you're an OG. Definitely leave a comment and hit the like button.
Yeah,
dude,
tell us what you think about Riley. Be nice.
Yeah, what do you think about me, bro?
All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I don't know how to wrap this up, so we're out.
That's a wrap.